Everybody to episode 78 of UnHacked. Today we continue our, a little mini series, I guess we're going to call it. 10 to 12 roughly episodes about baseline security. Because we say it all the time, 97% of breaches could, what did I say? See, I haven't said it in a long time and now I forgot it. 97% of breaches were preventable with basic security measures. But what are those? So that's what we're going to talk about. I am Justin Shelley, CEO of Phoenix IT Advisors, and I like to help companies build their wealth, build their business, make lots of money, and then protect it from the Russian hackers, the evil government who's going to come in and fine you and levy all kinds of penalties and all that other horse shit, and then the attorneys come in and they hoover up whatever's left. That's what we try to protect you from, and I'm here, as always, with my faithful, my loyal co-hosts, and my good friends, Mario and Bryan. Guys, go ahead and tell everybody who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. And Bryan, we are going to start with you today.
It's like roulette. You never know who you're going to...
You never know. I like to keep you listen, if I let you guys get prepared, the conversation would go stale. I learned that a long time ago.
This is true. It's true. All right. I'm Bryan Lachapelle, President and CEO of B4 Networks. I'm located in beautiful Niagara region, Ontario, Canada. And we support in the Niagara region and Simcoe County. We help business owners remove the headaches and frustrations that come with dealing with technology.
All right, good enough. Mario, you're up.
Mario Zaki, CEO of Mastech IT, located in snow-covered New Jersey. We help small to medium-sized businesses stay secure, and we specialize in helping business owners sleep better at night, knowing that their company will be there the next day.
Which is always the Russian roulette that we play. Mario, you got snow up there. We just have how many inches of snow do you have right now?
Within the last couple days, we got I think 17 inches of snow.
Oh, gee.
Oh, wow.
What's on the ground right now still? Same? 17?
Yeah.
Because that's about, we're about 1 for 1, except ours is mud. I've got about 17 inches of mud out here on my beautiful 40 acres. We just are swimming in mud. It's terrible.
Oh, boy.
We have had almost no snow this year. It's been a very strange winter. But
we actually have had record breaking. In the New York, New Jersey area, for some reason they said and I didn't know this until they mentioned it. Every 10 years on the 6s, we keep getting blizzards.
Really?
Right? We got a blizzard in 1996, 2006, 2016, and we got one in 2026.
Okay, not multiples of 6, the actual digit 6. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, well, that's kind of weird.
Very weird.
I don't know. I don't. I have no theory on how any of that stuff works out. All right, guys. So let's continue our series. We, up until now, have been, let's just say we've been mapping the battlefield, and today we're going to start building the fortress. Episode 1 in this series was frameworks. Who owns the risk? How do we measure it? And really, it comes down to, if we aren't doing the same thing, if we don't have a plan, we can't do any of this right. You've got to start with a plan. I don't care if it's CIS. I don't care if it's NIST. I don't care if it's HIPAA. I don't care if it's government mandated. I don't care, but get something and use that as your blueprint. Because if you don't know what you're trying to do and how you're trying to do it, you're not getting anywhere. So we started with that. Then we talked about identity. Who has access to your stuff? You've got to figure out who your people are and what you've opened up for them, right? Then you've got to figure out what stuff you actually have. What are these assets you're protecting? Know every device on your network. That's the good old days. Now we have to know every goddamn device, every piece of software, every cloud app, every whatever that every employee and contractor that touches your business has used ever. Fair? I mean, am I making it? Am I being too dramatic here? Maybe a little.
No, absolutely not. Okay. Not enough. Yeah.
Okay. You said it, not me. So these are huge lists. We're starting off by saying, go out and write the Harry Potter series, the whole thing, start to finish. That's about how many pages we're talking about going. It's crazy. It's insanity. But let's say you've already done your homework. You have Harry Potter up there on the shelf. You've got it all documented. Today we get into protecting it, right? How do we make things we already identified defensible in the real world? So let's get started. And I'm just going to throw this out there, Bryan. Let's say that I get a hold of your laptop tomorrow and you forgot to lock it. You forgot to Control Alt Delete or auto timeout. And I'm logged into your laptop. What's the plan? And what do I have access to?
Okay. Well, I mean, if you were me, you probably wouldn't have access to a lot. I'm the one who has the least access to things in my company.
Guys, write that down. Owners out there, write that down. Bryan, say that again slower.
I have the least amount of access in my company. That being said, I have one phone call to place. I place a phone call to my senior tech here at the office, and they lock out my 365 account. And that 365 account is effectively what holds all the keys to everything I have in my laptop. So if it's already logged in, they would have to be online first of all in order to try to access anything. And the moment they went online, they would get logged off, and the computer would lock itself, and the password would have been reset by my team, or they would have logged out of all the sessions. So I only have one phone call to make, and my team thankfully has it configured in a way that it is unusable. And once the device is locked, if they tried to access the data on a laptop, it's also encrypted. So.
Is there a particular member of your team you have to talk to, or can I just call the basic help desk, put on my Bryan AI clone, and lock you out of everything?
I'm
curious.
I'm gonna keep that information to myself.
We have fun here. Anyways,
yeah.
Okay. Well, good. So you got a plan, and
we do. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it really isn't the primary topic for today, but I'm going to point that out. That's huge. Is that you have a plan, and that
I am not an admin of anything on my computer. I'm not an admin of our global administrative accounts for 365. I am not an admin in any of our tool sets. There may be some files on my desktop, but they're far and few between. Everything is cloud-based, so really they would have to be online in order to use anything on my laptop. And the moment they go online, as long as I knew that I lost my laptop, my team would have locked them out almost instantly, just by resetting all the sessions and sending a signal to lock my computer the moment it gets connected to the internet.
Nice. All right. You pass, Bryan. You pass test number 1. Now,
all right.
Let's talk about endpoints. And this is not the first time I've said this. We talk about it quite a bit back in the day. Securing a company was pretty simple. It was geographically, you had these perimeters. What's the perimeter now? It's not a building. Okay. Yeah. Kind of, but not the whole world, because I can't be responsible for locking down the whole world. So for me, Bryan, you're my IT consultant. What is my perimeter? What is it that I am trying to protect?
I mean, I don't know, because I don't know your company. I'd have to have an assessment done.
Okay.
But effectively, it's every device that has access to important data, every login and password on all of your cloud applications that have access to important information and data, and any of the vendors that you're using that also have access to that same data.
I wish I could share my screen right now for our listening audience and show the headline of point number 1 on the outline I just gave you. Endpoints are the real perimeter now, Bryan.
No, yeah, well, I mean, I'm looking at the document, but it's not just endpoints.
Well, okay, so that's a great. I'm glad you brought that up, actually. So I'm actually going to punt this to Mario, because he's sitting over there way too comfortable and way too quiet.
I'm just watching.
Mario, define an endpoint, because I think, Bryan, you're hearing me say computer.
Yes.
All right, Mario, what's an endpoint?
It's a computer that you use. I guess it can also be a phone that you use as well, that accesses your 365 or any of your tool sets.
A smart fridge.
Yeah, access point, smart plug.
A website.
Yeah.
A thermometer and a fish tank.
Right. An Azure database. I mean, this is why we have to start by doing all the inventory first, right? And figuring out what we have and where it lives. because the endpoint is not, this isn't a simple answer, even though we kind of tried to frame it that way. And I got Bryan to take the bait. So we've got all these identified. Let's get into the weeds a little bit. And let's talk about how endpoints are abused. Real world examples, if you've got them. We'll get a little bit technical. That's okay. And then we're going to bring this back to CEO executive boardroom conversation and talk about what it is that we need to do to protect these. So open discussion, guys.
Okay.
Go for it.
I'm going to use a very odd endpoint because it's not an endpoint that most of us would think of in the traditional sense. But VPN connections, connections that are available and open for people to connect to, is could be used on any endpoint, but it in and of itself can be used on any device, even if it's not registered to the company in most cases. And so it becomes it's an endpoint on its own. And there was an incident that we had a while back that there was a user who had not selected a very good login and password, and that particular account was involved in a, what do they call those? Not a dictionary attack, but a brute force attack, where it just kept trying to use the login and password to connect to the VPN, and lo and behold, they were able to get in. And so that they had access to the internal network at that point based on whatever credentials that person had, whatever access they had. So that would be, one way that attackers could abuse an endpoint is by, trying to log into that endpoint, whether it's physical or virtual, like a VPN.
Well, I love that you brought that up because, firewalls, this is, I believe, one of the technologies that is the least monitored and has the biggest attack surface. These things just sit in a closet somewhere. People forget they have them. They don't update their licenses. And that thing's building a log that is millions of lines long. Nobody's looking at it. And most of those entries are some sort of an attack coming in that people aren't paying attention to. So yeah, that's a very good point. That VPN goes somewhere. Who's monitoring that piece?
And with those, a lot of them have to be updated manually, and you don't want to update it in the middle of the day because most likely you're going to lose internet access. So you have to find a time where you can update it manually after hours, and nobody wants, 5 o'clock, everybody wants to go home.
Yeah. You guys tell me if you see something different out there, but for me, that is the piece of technology. We won't even call it hardware, but that's the piece of technology that has the biggest risk with the least amount of oversight.
Yes, I agree.
I would say that, yes, combined with insecure wireless access points.
Okay, yeah.
What I mean by that is you've got a lot of people who have wireless access points all over the place in their business and at home, and they're using subpar passwords that could easily be breached. And because it's just floating around in the air, they can try to hack that login and password all day long, and you'd never know it. And the other danger with access points is that when people leave the office, that's the last thing people think of is like, I got to change all these other passwords, but they forget to change the login and password their entire staff use to log into the Wi-Fi. And if they still have access to that, it's no different than them having a long network cable directly plugged into your network, plugged into whatever laptop or device that they have. Yeah, you might have other things secured inside it, but there's still a direct tunnel directly into your network that they're utilizing or can utilize to just continuously try to break into something else.
Well, to add on to that, you'll be surprised, or I'm surprised how many guest networks are configured improperly. People think that they can just create another
It's
SSID.
called guest, Mario. Clearly they can't get into the main network. It's called guest.
Clearly. I sat with a prospect a few weeks ago, and I was on their guest Wi-Fi, because I needed to pull up the document that was emailed to me. And during a conversation, something made me want to do an IP scan for them. And I'm on the guest network. I was able to see every computer, every phone, every access point, they had Ring doorbells I was able to access, the firewall, the server, it was like 200 devices that I was able to see.
Wow.
I tilted over their my laptop, and I'm like, this is what you guys are doing now. You know,
Instant sale, and you got the instant sale, right? You were able to sell them like that.
it's the signature is pending, but I feel good about it. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but to add on to that, people think that they can just create a new name and that it's done. That's not even half of it. You know, you have to. There's VLANs and stuff like that have to be configured in the back end that nobody ever does. Or I don't want to say nobody, unless you know what you're doing.
We do.
Yeah,
Listen,
we do too.
Mario, you just touched a nerve, and now I'm going to go on a tangent, and I'm just going to rant for a second because I've got a former, what do we call them, unconverted leads, I guess, you know, in our group. So this company came to me almost a year ago, and they have a very small network. They use a Windows workstation as their primary file server. All of their company files are on this one computer, and they called me up and it wouldn't power on. I'm like, holy shit, like this is bad. I was like, I'm not promising you anything, but let me look. I was able to pull the drive out, put it in a little, we call it a toaster, you know, like a docking station, the drive itself. And I was able to get them all their data back, sell them a new computer. And then I came in. This is where I went wrong because I fixed the problem first, you know, and then go in and try to, hey, here's how we make sure this never happens again. This is what we prevent. You'll never have to worry about this again. And here's how we do it. And, you know, here's, you know, is this something you're interested in? Oh yeah, definitely. Let's do it. And I said, do I need to talk to the owner? And I'm working, this is a law firm, and I'm talking to the admin, you know, then she's like, no, they are not technical. They want me to do everything. I make all the decisions. I have all the say. Just give me the paperwork. We'll get it done. All right, here you go. Crickets, you know, you guys are way ahead of me. I know this. And, you know, I follow up a few times and like, yeah, well, we just want to be able to call you when something breaks. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. The best saying or best thing I heard was, I think it was something to the effect of success breeds complacency, complacency breeds failure. Success in this case is that you were able to successfully retrieve their information. And so now they think, oh, we don't have to do anything. We can always retrieve our information. So they were successful in the sense that they were able to get their data back. The reality is that that's the fluke. Like you probably in most cases would not be able to get that data back.
Yeah.
And
shouldn't happen.
The next time it happens, it will fail and they will not be able to get their data back. And then they'll shake their head going, well, what happened? We were able to get it back last time.
Well, and here we go again, right? A year later, I get a call. Hey, and it's not. It doesn't end badly for them yet. It will.
Yet.
Hey, the attorney, the main, you know, HMFIC here is not able to access our server. I put that in quotes, server, because it's just a Windows workstation that's completely unprotected. And so I'm like, hey, good to hear from you. Remember that service agreement we talked about? Is that something you're interested in now? Yes. Send me the paperwork. I'm like, all right, here's the paperwork. By the way, got you connected. And the attorney comes back and says, we're disputing all of this. We never agreed to any of it. Fuck you. We only want to pay you for the one, you know, whatever. I'm like, not a problem. You guys don't owe me a penny. I'm closing your account. I'm removing all my stuff. Good luck. Good luck. That computer I sold them when they brought it in, it had 500 gigs worth of data. It now is maxed out. The drive I sold them was a terabyte. It's maxed out at 95% or something. That computer's not even going to run for much longer. Holy shit. I'm just ranting because this just happened yesterday. And you talk about like having all your eggs in one basket. They literally have everything. Their entire firm is on this one computer that is about to shit the bed. And I'm charging them a few $100 a month. I mean, like, I shouldn't even be doing this for them. It's a charity that I'm even doing this for a few $100 a month. Oh, there's too much money. We don't want that. Fuck you. I don't. Fuck you. What's your name? You guys know that one? Never mind. No. I won't go there. But anyway, so I just have to rant. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, seriously, and maybe you guys can help me. I don't know how to get this through to people. When we sit here and we talk about this, and we're going to go on for a quarter, 3 months, we're going to talk about what needs to be done and why it needs to be done and how important it is. And God damn it, they don't listen. They don't care. It's like, but then they want to call and their building's burning down. They're like, hey, come with your fire hose, put out the fire, but make sure when you walk away, the building's exactly how it was before the fire started.
Justin, I'm really confused here. How do
I'm
you really
done.
feel about all of this?
I'm done. I'm out of here. It's over. I quit. Holy shit. Okay.
If he didn't have that microphone strapped to his desk right now, it would be a mic drop. And
Listen, I learned a long time ago that what we do and what we have to offer is not for everybody, and there will always be somebody who's just completely 100% unwilling to do anything, and that's okay, because they're not my client. They are not people who I'm looking for. I'm looking for people who understand that technology is the root of their business. If it isn't, then they're probably not my client either. And they're willing to make some significant investments in technology because they value it and they understand that it is a driving force for their business. And if they don't understand that, I'm okay.
I'm with you to a point, but I'll get a little bit personal here. When I was young, my parents bought a motel and they ran it into the ground. I don't know what happened. I was 12. But they lost everything. They went out of business. Now, it wasn't a cyber attack. It wasn't technology related, but I watched that struggle of a family putting everything into their business and then having it just get annihilated. And the problem is, I do actually care. If I could protect that law firm for free, if they would just say, hey, you know what? We've only got this much. Can you work with us? I would do something. I would do anything to help them. But they won't. Yeah. And it's like, I'm going to watch you guys. This is a small town. I'm going to watch you go up and smoke. And probably you're going to be mad at me for it. And so, you know what I do is I host a podcast with my friends and we sit here and we talk week after week and we tell people how to fucking do it for free if you want. Or you got ChatGPT, just go do it. I don't care, but fucking do it. You guys can tell I'm a little emotional. It's like, God damn it. Everything you have is on the line. And okay,
I mean, and I completely agree. You know, IT, just like a lot of other industries, plumbers, electricians, stuff like that, it's not, you know, rocket science. Most people can do it, you know, but just like, you know, like a plumber, sometimes you don't want to sit there and finagle and go on YouTube videos and try to figure out how to fix your clogged pipes. Sometimes you want to just bring in a professional, have it done in an efficient manner, be done correctly, and then you move on with your day. You know,
IT, all the time.
All the time, you know, plumbers and electricians, they're not cheap. We're not cheap, you know, but everybody has their place. People, you know, we're not going to sit there and run, you know, pipes and electricity for you because that's not what we work, you know, we do. But what we do it well. And, you know, we're not going to charge you an arm and a leg for it, but there's a price. And it's not an ROI type of price for your company, but it's the price, you know, just like electricity, just like internet and stuff like that. You need it to run your company. IT is the same way. Security is the same way. You need it to run your company, or at least have your company continue running so you can sleep better at night.
Yeah, right. And as you said, to make sure it's there in the morning. Because Mario, this law firm is going to wake up one morning and their company's not going to be there. And I don't mean they won't be able to work for a little while. I mean, they will be done. All of their information is on one hard drive, unprotected from viruses and any other kind of attack, unprotected from hardware failure, no backup whatsoever because I have to turn it off, even though I've been giving it to them for free. I don't know. So we're gonna like take a little Valium. I don't really have Valium. That's my small print. I'm not really doing drugs that are not prescribed to me. Let's talk a little bit more about what have you guys seen? So I'm setting up a scenario that isn't really what we're talking about because it's not directly tied to security, but yet all of this stuff plays in together. We are talking about data loss. We are talking about preventing the unauthorized access or the unintentional deletion of data. That's what we're protecting against. What have you guys seen other than small law firms who won't protect their stuff that either puts people at risk or where you've seen it actually cause problems like loss?
Okay, so a couple things here. One, there's things that you can put in place to protect against a lot of things, but there's also the concept of detect, right? You can protect all you want, But if somebody gets through, you need to be able to detect that they're in the system as well,
Right.
because as many precautions as you can put in place to stop it from happening, it will likely happen at some point where somebody finally makes it through. And having detection is important too. So it could be things like canary files, which is, for those of you not sure what that is, it's just files that or systems that are not accessed by users, and they're just sitting there idle. And the moment somebody or something tries to access them, it automatically knows that there's an intruder in the network or in the system, and then locks everything down.
Yeah.
So having anyway, there's different ways that you can detect somebody in your systems. But once you detect, then of course, like kind of like Star Trek shields up style, right? We had an incident that occurred, and I won't get into the specifics of it because it's an incident that's ongoing or not 100% ongoing, but a attacker made their way through every single defense we had in place, but the system within 3 minutes detected that they were in the system and locked the entire organization down. 3 minutes.
Wow.
And we were able to keep the client safe and secure because we had the detection protocols in place. So
Right.
protect, yes. Detect would be the second piece to that.
Okay.
Yeah. A perfect example to that is your 365. I mean, you can put in, a really good password. You can enable, two-factor authentication, but it doesn't stop hackers from necessarily getting in. I mean, if they get into the computer, they can steal tokens, but a lot of times, and what you see all the time is a user will click on an email or click on a link that it's legitimate. And, once they click on it, they think it's a Microsoft site, they put it in, and they've logged in the user right into their 365. So you had the protection, but now you've let them in. And if you don't have the proper detection for that, you will never know that they're in there until one of your customers, your vendors calls you and say, hey, we all just got an email from you. Did you mean to send this?
Yeah.
And by then it's like, oh my God, what the hell happened? But if you have the proper detection, it will recognize that, you logged in from New Jersey, and then all of a sudden, in Justin's Russia, or, Mario's China, or even like Seattle, Washington, and it says, you know what, this doesn't look right. We're going to block out the account, and I tell customers all the time, I rather apologize to you because your account was locked out. You lost access to your email for, 20 minutes or so, than me apologize to you that we didn't know that this happened.
Right.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about put on our CEO hats, and like, we aren't going to do all of this stuff ourselves. I hope. I mean, honestly, if you got time to kill, go for it. Get ChatGPT out or your AI friend of choice and plug in, how do I protect my company from all cybersecurity threats, and get to work. But at least that's something, go do that. God bless. But let's assume that most CEOs don't have that kind of time. What do we tell them on how to make sure this is being handled within their organization? Because this is what we hear all the time, right? My IT guys got it covered. Well, do they? How do you know? Because you write them a check?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you guys have heard me rant on this a couple of times, but there's a couple things. One is have a second opinion. Always have a second opinion. Always have somebody else watching over. If anything, just from a point of view of making sure that what the person you have doing it is doing it. It could be a third party, or it could be a monitoring system or software, or it could just be you who has a checklist of things that should be in place, and you spot check them, right? Are the backups working? I don't know. Let me create a file today, and 2 days from now, I'm going to ask them to restore that file after I've deleted it. See if they could restore it. That's an easy test anybody can do right now, today, to see if their IT company is currently backing them up properly. Because if they are backing them up properly, they're backing up multiple times a day.
I'm going to pause you right there. Please, people, don't go out and delete your entire file server to test your IT company. Or a file. You better move it to somewhere where you know where it is.
I said create a file, a fake file.
Okay.
Create a file today, and 2 days from now, delete that file.
Yes.
Then ask them to
Well,
restore that file.
I'm
Me
still
and Justin
clarifying
both cringed. We
because
both
the
cringed.
casual listener just heard, yeah, I'm gonna go delete shit and see if they can get it back.
No! Yeah, don't do that.
Because if they fail, you
Right.
you have your answer, and B,
Yeah, you don't want
you
that
still have
answer.
your file.
No. But yeah, just have a checklist of things that should be happening, and get confirmation that they're happening. If you're paying for a set of things and it's on your invoice, make sure it's itemized to the point that you know what it is you're paying for. There's a lot of times I've done assessments and audits for organizations where they say, yeah, everything's covered, and what they're paying for is their 365 subscription, right? That's what they're paying monthly for. They're not paying for anything else. They're not paying for backups. They're not paying for antivirus. They're not paying for EDR. They're not paying for maintenance. They're not paying for, and if you're not paying a monthly fee for your services, you are not getting services. And there's so many people I've seen around like, my IT guy's got that covered. Oh, okay. Let me see the invoice. Oh, they don't send me a monthly invoice. It's just whenever we call them, they'll take care of stuff.
Right.
And there's nothing. There's no proactive services. There's no updates. There's no systems in place to be able to protect you. That doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a set it once upon a time and then I'll just call you whenever I need you.
Okay, so
Now-
let's go
Well,
ahead,
the
Mario.